Rub-a-dub-dub, welcome to the Scrub Hub
podcast.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Scrub Hub. What? Podcast episode 32.
Hi, I'm over here. It's Nick. We've got a new setup. We'll go through it eventually.
Yeah. So Nick, let's talk about it. Nick's over there.
Hi.
Are you on the camera?
Yeah.
I can't see that on mine.
You can't see anything yet. Ha ha.
But yeah, so Nick's rearranged everything. We got all kinds of new camera angles. It looks great.
Yeah, I'm playing around here. It's so much fun. We'll get much better at it. It's designed for multiple people, but today we've got 4 cameras for 2 people.
Yep.
Oh, we've got 4 cameras for 2 people. Yeah, I forgot I can change stuff. So yeah, we've got a new setup that's going to make the podcast a lot better.
Yep.
I keep showing to you even though I'm talking because it makes the most sense. So I can go over it kind of, and it's a lot of fun. So basically what I've got here is a Blackmagic Television Studio HD or whatever. It's the little one that doesn't have the knob and stuff on it. So you have a laptop that's all that stuff, and you can just do stuff and it works. It's great. It's all live. It's all live. It's all real. It's going to a little recorder we've got that is on battery by accident, but luckily you can hot swap. Now it's on now it's on power. That also means that we can do cool things like pick a fancy page on that computer there. And then whenever I want, I can just pop over like this. We got Connor in the corner. That would normally be all of us.
Yep.
And we can just browse websites. So
you can go to the...
And this is like, it's not going to crash because it's not OBS. You won't have problems just happen. So my weekly update I'll go ahead and do is getting all of this set up. So it's been a lot of fun. The final plan... Oh, and sorry, I'm recovering from a nose thing, so I can't talk properly. But the final plan is that all of this gear is going to be behind that wall like we originally planned back in Podcast 0. Nick, over on the control booth here.
Nick, over on the control booth.
Yep, can't see him.
And...
when I was on my own separate area with like the soundboard thing?
Yep.
It's kind of how it's actually going to be. You'll be out there. Everything's going to be out there. You're going to have the main group on the other side. It's going to be fancy. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
So... in a second, when I actually change things, which one are you, Connor? Connor, tell me about your week.
Or Nikon, either one. This week really all I've been doing is I think I played Odyssey earlier in the week. I already beat it though, so I'm just kind of running around trying to 100% it. But other than that, just been a lot of schoolwork, a lot of doing things around the house, that kind of stuff. So not tons of gaming, but I got to play Odyssey a little bit, so it's been pretty fun.
It's been an intense experience.
Yep. I love Odyssey so much, but I'm not gonna bore people with that. So
that we actually have a Mario Odyssey themed podcast planned. So
do we?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Let's see if we can get Darren along.
Okay.
Make a full like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah. Sorry, we talked about this. I'm sorry. I'm confused.
No.
I was like, do we have this planned? I have it. We have a plan. No, yeah. So we'll do that. I'll reach out to Darren and see if he can do it. But yeah. So that's really all I got for my weekly update. So
we can fun switching back and forth.
we can talk about some exciting news developments and stuff if you want.
Did any of us bring up the first topic, or was that someone else? Was that Tim?
That might have been Tim.
All right, we'll save that for Tim
because I think he'll want to talk about it.
So I guess we can move on to if you want to bring up the website.
There you go.
Key and boop. There you are. So one thing I found out that's coming out really soon is the you're in the corner even though is the Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 albums are coming out on vinyl.
Oh, cool. So
I don't know how much they're going to be yet, but they're getting vinyl releases, and I can't imagine they're going to be anything less than like $50 a piece. So $50.
$50.
$50 a piece.
I mean, $50 are worth this album.
I think they are, but then I can't remember. Do you have like crazy nostalgia with those 2 games at all, or not?
Okay, the first Sonic, yes. The answer is yes. I had a Dreamcast growing up. So I do like Sonic Adventure, and did Sonic Adventure 2 come out on Dreamcast? I don't remember.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, I can't remember.
Didn't. It was right at the end.
Right.
So
that's what I was trying to remember. Like, because I remember playing both of them. But Sonic Adventure 2 was all like weird because it was all like battle and stuff. Based.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the more fun ones in my opinion. But
I'm not saying like it's like bad. I was just saying it was weird because after Sonic Adventure was all open world and it really wasn't. It didn't really seem like a sequel as much as they were trying to force it to be a sequel.
Well, I think they found out that the open world stuff didn't take off, and they wanted to streamline it to just levels. And I don't know how I feel about that. I do think that Sonic Adventure 2 fixed a lot of stuff wrong with Adventure, but
no, I agree.
I don't know if taking away the open world stuff was a good idea.
But no, yeah, I like the Sonic Adventure series. They're flawed, especially the first one. Really, the first one.
Quite considerably.
But like I played a lot of it, and I liked like with Big the Cat and stuff run around doing the fishing and stuff and the robot, and it was all weird and it wasn't the best game, but I've got nostalgia for it. So this is cool to me. I don't know if it's worth buying a vinyl album for me.
That's my problem, is that they're really nice, but I don't know if I want to.
That's the thing, is like
for those. So
I mean, like, of all the things I haven't bought vinyl albums for, because like I love the Metal Gear series, and recently Kojima put out vinyls of and they were only like $30, I think. It was for that new Death Stranding game.
Oh yeah,
and it's the music for that. And like it was this awesome like vinyl with like the black goo like across and stuff, and it looked awesome. I didn't get it though.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the thing is like, am I gonna get Sonic Adventure vinyls? Probably not.
Well, I mean,
but they're cool.
Yeah, and like Undertale had that come out, and I was like, oh, that's really awesome, of course, but I didn't get it either. It's just sometimes they're just too expensive for what ultimately you're just gonna hang on the wall. I'm not a person that like records are convenient enough for me to just like, time to chill out.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, I mean, I don't actually have a record player currently.
I don't either.
So I would have to buy one, and I know there are like some good companies that like sell really nice new vinyl players and stuff, or record players or whatever.
I don't know what that. The hip term is vinyl. The old term is record or album.
But like that's the thing is like, if I'm going to go down that hole, Sonic Adventure isn't the thing that's going to get me to go down that hole. So it's like. So
do you know which game you think had the better soundtrack?
Of Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2?
Yes.
No, not at all. 'Cause I really don't remember the music that well, to be perfectly honest.
No. I mean,
I want to say Sonic Adventure.
So
because I remember some of the music from Sonic Adventure, I think, but I don't know.
So like I was talking to this with Michael a lot because I sent that to him. Sadly, he's not here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the plan. But I sent that to him, and he's like, so I know you listen to these albums, Nick. Which is your favorite? I'm like, that's a problem, you see, because I actually found out a bit more stuff that I didn't remember about those albums when I was looking in to pick my favorite. Right. Because my first instinct was Sonic Adventure 1 had a lot of artists working on it. If you dig through it, there were a bunch of artists. And I thought Sonic Adventure 2 was like just Jun Sinoue and a few vocal artists and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, obviously Sonic Adventure had more variety. I was wrong. Yeah. I forgot that, sure, they had all the vocal artists, but there was the Fumi guy that did all of like Shadow songs that don't involve guitar. Yeah. There was I forgot which guy did it with Hunted P to do all of Knuckles' songs. Oh, okay. They did recycle some stuff from Sonic Adventure 1, so there's like 2 or 3 tracks on there that are just straight from that game. But there was a lot more variety in there than I thought, so I'm like, oh, well, then I guess Sonic Adventure 2 is still actually probably one of my favorite albums. But I do listen to both of them on my computer. But yeah. So.
Well, cool.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the thing. It's like it's awesome, but like it's almost that thing of this more than anything is making me want to like just download the album. You know? So like it's like I'll listen to that again. You're right.
Yeah, I don't listen to it as much as I used to. But it's a great album. They're both great albums, but I don't know if it'll do well, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. You want to talk about the next thing, or you want to talk about something else?
Let's talk about the next thing.
All right. So I was telling Nick before this. I wanted to talk about microtransactions just because that's the hot topic right now. Everyone's talking about. But I'm of the mindset. Let's just say this. Okay. That microtransactions are not a good thing. I'm not saying that they can't be handled well. I'm not saying that they can't exist in some space. It's for me, I'm just really not looking forward to a lot of the games I was looking forward to this year because of it though now. And like there have been so many games that like I've been like, oh, I wonder if that'll be any good and I'll want that. And it's like, oh, it's super microtransaction heavy. I'm like, well, I don't want it then. And that's my thing is I'm just kind of over the microtransactions. I'm tired of the like, oh, we're behind closed doors fixing it, and it comes back out, and it's like it's not that much better. Because like that's the Battlefront thing. Is like I'm hearing that Battlefront they were like, hey, we're fixing. EA was like, we're fixing all the microtransactions, and now it's come out that like it's still a pay to win game and stuff. I'm just like, oh, cool. You guys really fixed it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff really bothers me. So like, I've dabbled in game design stuff, so I worked on it. For me, like, if I were to want to release a game, I like the idea that you could make a free-to-play game where all you do is buy clothes, which is how they've usually done it for a lot of games that still work. Right. And I wish that they would only do it that way, where it's just like, it's purely aesthetic or not game-changing at all. Like, oh, wow, you've got really cool wings. Right. Why? Because I gave them, this guy that gave you a free game, gave them some money. And I'm cool with that. That's like all I think microtransactions should ever be.
Well, I mean, that's why Overwatch is successful and why Team Fortress 2 is successful. I mean, it's just hats. And it's hats and skins, and that's just why, that's why they do well. I don't buy Overwatch and then they're like, all right, you want that map pack? I just get the maps and I get the characters as they come out, and I pay for clothing or skins or whatever I want in that, area. Because
however you want to put it, a game still needs to make money. Right. Otherwise, you can't make games, really. Yeah. But, like, just, I hate seeing that where it's, especially...
go ahead. No.
Well, I was going to say, especially when it's the ones where they make it to where you're doing the microtransaction and you get just a loot crate that's random stuff. And so you've spent money on something that's just random and could suck, which really bothers me.
Right. And no, that's my thing. It's like, that's my biggest problem with like a developer like EA who's sitting there and they're like, we need to make more money off of this. Their CEOs and whatever are making tons of money off these games. It's the devs that aren't making money off these games. And it's like, pay your devs and then maybe I'll think about paying for your microtransactions. Like, I don't know. It makes me mad.
I think, my biggest problem is that unless it's like an MMO where they have way too much money in servers that they can't make back from selling a game, and then they do that just like support the game still running in general. Yeah, no, I agree. If it's like a huge first party game that's going to be on every platform and why?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Everybody's talking about this games as a service now instead of just a game.
Just a game.
And it's like, your game has to, like, even if it's a single player game, it's got to have multiplayer in it, or it's got to have updates, or it's got to have something that keeps it being talked about and keeps it being played. Because if they're just selling it, and a part of this problem is, I think, recently, Grand Theft Auto 5. I actually do think it's a huge problem. And I'm not saying anything bad about Grand Theft Auto 5. I love it.
No, we both love it, but
the problem is that it's a single-player experience, and it's a great game. But then the problem is that the online is so... It's been so lucrative for Rockstar, and it's been so well-received. I mean, did you just see the new sales numbers on it?
No, but I bet they're extreme.
They just, like, I think it was at 2K's earnings report. They reported they've sold 85 million copies of Grand Theft Auto 5 since release. And it is the most sold, or most purchased, I guess, video game in North America now.
That is just crazy. That's really hard to believe, too. I mean, it's a great game.
Oh, it's a great game.
It's fun.
It's always on the UK top charts, though. It's been, like, number 5 on the UK top charts for, like, the last, like, 2 years.
But, like, I don't see how it's that fun. It's not like...
Well, that's the thing. Is like, and don't, like... That's a weird area to talk about, too, because, like, with the online experience, like, somebody was talking about it not long ago, and they were like, it's kind of a game that's what... games have been trying to get right for so long, of like, you can play online with your friends and you can go golf, you can go shoot things, you can go do this and that and that, and it's getting that social space. I think that's the thing it's really hitting, is it's like, oh, my friends, instead of hanging out are hanging out in Grand Theft Auto and doing stuff. So I think that's the area
I could
that's
see
winning
that.
people with. But at the same time, don't get me wrong, Grand Theft Auto 5 has an amazing story.
It does,
And it's a
but
great
that's-
single player experience. It's a great online experience.
And that's
so I
totally
think that's one of the reasons it's doing so well. And it's Rockstar. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the deal. Sure, we can all go like, hey, how's this game doing great? I mean, Rockstar's been kind of the kings of making games that are great for a while now.
Yeah.
Like, a Rockstar game comes out and you don't go, I wonder if that Rockstar game's going to be any good. It's going to at
You
least
just
be
buy it.
good. Like, it's not going to be bad. So, I mean, it'll take a lot for a Rockstar game to be, like, hands down just not good.
But speaking of which, how is Red Dead 2 coming
Well, that's
along?
the thing. Red Dead Redemption 2, they've already said that they're going to have a lot more microtransactions. Now, I don't know if that means they're going to have the same level of microtransactions as what Grand Theft Auto is doing now. Like, if they're going to have, like, an online experience that, like, they update it, they keep all that stuff free, but then they, like, charge you for, like, money in-game, like they do with Grand Theft Auto right now. If they do that, I'll still get Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Because it's what they're doing with Grand Theft Auto right now. It's
And-
not a bad area of business to be. I think, frankly, for them, they've made a lot of money off Grand Theft Auto Online. I don't think you tempt it. I think you do this again.
Yeah.
Like, why not? You do this, but you do it better. Because, like, why make people mad at your company for no reason? You know, like, if you had a bunch of microtransactions and people leave and stop buying your game,
Change it.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, yeah.
But no, as long as they do it pretty much exactly as they do now,
Mm-hmm.
where it's not really pay to win unless you are crazy,
Right.
then we're probably fine. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they just go, well, you know what? I think all the levels are locked off until you
Right.
pay incrementally.
See, and that's the problem. It's like, it's funny because I've been sitting here like, and I use sitting here in a, like, for the past few months,
Yeah.
like, thinking, like, you know, if I stop buying microtransaction games, and I see other people that are mad about it online too, I'm like, and they stop buying microtransaction games, it's like, is that enough of an impact for the game developers to be like, okay, we're losing money now? The problem there, though, is that there's, I'm going to say Johnny over there, who's like, because I just read something about this not long ago. There was a guy, I can't remember what game it was now, though, but he spent like $15,000 on add-on stuff.
That.
I'm like,
crazy.
well, that's great, but like,
But-
that's like the sales of like, what, a couple thousand people, millions of people. I don't even
Yeah.
know, like buying your game. So I'm like, well, even if I'm not buying their game and that guy's spending that much money, what does it, you know, does it even look like they're losing money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. It's hard. But see, my point here, the thing I was driving towards, is that now that Rockstar's doing it, I mean, what, can we even do anything about it? Like, I mean, that's the
I don't
thing.
know.
Is it's like, because Rockstar is kind of that company of like, when I buy a Rockstar game for $60, I feel like I got my $60 worth.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. It's like Nintendo. I don't buy a Nintendo game and go, man, I really wish there had been more game here. I might
No.
wish that there was more game in the sense of I'd
But-
like to play more, but I don't
you-
like ever feel like I've been ripped off.
Yeah. You got your full $60 worth. It's just that you wish you could keep
Right.
playing more of what was there.
And that's
but-
the same thing about Grand Theft Auto and anything Rockstar's on. It's like, I never feel ripped off. So, but now, like, if they're going to microtransactions, it's like,
Hopefully.
it starts to get like into a gray area of like, do I feel ripped off? How long do they maintain single player if online's doing this well?
I don't know.
Because like, that's the scary thing. And like, I do think there are people out there that buy Grand Theft Auto and buy Red Dead Redemption for the stories. But do those people weigh enough in importance and money to keep them from cutting out single player?
Well, that's kind of like the thing with Brawl was that there was like this crazy
Yep.
huge single player thing. But
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's Brawl. You're not really
Right.
playing it for the single player
Right.
thing. Is that what they're going to see for all games now? It's
Exactly.
just like, well, you know what? Single player, dead. Just dead. Leave it to Nintendo.
Exactly.
They can do it. Every other company should be online
And see,
only.
that's the thing that scares me too, is like, Nintendo's been so, like, Nintendo was late to get into HD, like with the Wii. Like the 360 and the PS3 came out, they were HD.
Yeah.
Or they had HD capability. I think they still came with component cables. I think you could still-
composite stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And, the Xbox 360 did have HDMI. It was a bit
Yeah.
weird at the time, but
But like, Nintendo didn't have HDMI. They came with the Wii. I mean, and they were very like, this is still a console for, you know, the people that haven't moved up to a HD TV.
And
where
to be
Nintendo were slow on things like that.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't have an HD TV by the
I
time I got a
didn't
Wii.
either.
So
right. And that's the thing. I actually I was listening to a podcast where a guy was talking about that. It was that Kind of Funny podcast. He was talking about how he bought a Wii even though he's had PlayStation consoles his entire life because he didn't have an HD TV at the time, and he was like, well, I don't have anything I can play that on, so he bought a Wii. I mean, and that's the thing. But that's what I'm talking about. Is like Nintendo's always been kind of late to the game, and like now Nintendo with like this last Zelda, they have DLC now.
it's
And
weird.
don't get me wrong, Nintendo still handles DLC a lot better than other people. Like I played Zelda, it was a wonderful experience. I don't feel ripped off, and their DLC is 2 DLCs for $20.
Okay.
So it's like I don't feel ripped off by that at all. It's a bunch of stuff and a new story mode. And I'm like, okay.
that's fair.
The problem I have here though is that like Nintendo has to survive. They sell fine when they sell fine. The Wii was an amazing thing that I don't know if it can ever be replicated again. Maybe the Switch is what does it. But does Nintendo get to a point where they have to do microtransactions to survive?
Well, I mean, we're already kind of seeing that they're coming out with the Animal Crossing game for the phone that's going to be just microtransactions, which I think they fully confirmed, right?
It's like the Leaf things.
I don't know what it was even called, but it's like fully microtransactions. Everyone's like, I don't think I feel good about this.
Right.
But I mean, to your credit, you said that like Mario Run, which you paid and you got the full game, didn't really do that well.
Yeah, they said that Nintendo considers it a failure. I wonder if I can find that article.
Yeah. But I mean, well,
Go ahead.
my thing is I don't think I'd ever want to spend $10 on an app. I know
agree.
that seems like, oh, only $10 for a game. Well, I know, but it's like my phone. I just don't like phone games that much. I play them a little bit. I'll throw $1 or $2 at stuff, but I only feel like I ever get like $2 worth of stuff out of it anyway.
This says that Nintendo still isn't considering, like, they're not going freemium yet. But yeah, Super Mario Run didn't meet expectations. And that's my thing, is like, it's such a hard thing to say, like, hey, Nintendo's gonna go microtransactions, because like we have no evidence that like the Switch or anything like that's gonna go heavy microtransaction.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just hard. It's hard when the whole ecosystem around you is microtransaction, though, to not fall to it also, I think, at least.
Yeah,
because it seems like everyone else is.
You get too much pressure built up. And you're
Right.
like, well, I guess everyone's doing it. Everyone's used to it. So
Right.
are we going to have any backlash? I don't know. Try it out. It's not very hard. So I don't know.
But that's my rant on.
Well, I guess as I promptly switched the wrong thing. So I guess what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to continue this podcast. We're splitting up our podcast now.
Yeah.
If you want to watch part 2 of it, go ahead and subscribe or click the linky do thing. I think it's right here or here somewhere. And join us for that. So